Alright, y'all, the night's not over yet. We also had the Blazers and Rockets make a somewhat significant deal, well, a pretty significant deal. The Blazers, out of nowhere, are deciding to make a bigger trade than normal, and this is exciting news. They are acquiring Robert Covington from the Houston Rockets for Trevor Ariza and 2 first-round picks. Now, I want to start this bad boy off by talking about the Houston Rockets and what they're going to be looking like after this trade. And I think this might be the official signal of the end of the small ball era, as it has come to a very rapid demise. First, we had the Westbrook rumors about him wanting out, and then we had a bunch of other players like PJ Tucker, Austin Rivers, Daniel House. They all apparently had some rumors leak that they were unhappy. And then over the past 48 hours or so, we've had James Harden go from being okay to saying he wants out to now fully requesting a trade and saying that the Sixers and Nets are at the top of his list and all this craziness. But that's not for this video. This video, we're talking strictly Robert Covington and the fact that they are now bringing back Trevor Ariza and finally getting some first round picks back in their franchise. Like, it's been forever. They've just been throwing those away like something you might want to throw away. I can't think of an analogy right now. Either way, it's looking like the Rockets are quickly heading towards a rebuild. 1 year away from potentially being, title favorites in some people's minds at one point in the season. But yeah, this has been an absolute avalanche for the Houston Rockets. And I feel for Steven Silas, who the new rookie head coach, and it's looking like he is not maybe getting what he expected when he signed into the job. So anyway, like I said, the Blazers did give up 2 first-round picks in this trade. One of them is the number 16 overall pick in this week's NBA draft. The other one will be next year's first-round pick. So this trade actually won't be official until Wednesday on the draft night, due to the fact that NBA teams can't trade 2 first-round picks in back-to-back years. So trade won't be official till Wednesday, but that doesn't really matter a whole lot. Trevor Ariza, he's coming back to the Rockets. He's still like a fine player, a fine 3-and-D player, but he's just up there in age now. He's going to be 35 for this next season. I assume the Rockets are probably just going to eat his contract, hold on to him. Who knows? Maybe he ends up being a buyout candidate near the end of the season for another team to pick up that's in contention, unlike what the Rockets will be by the end of the year. And going on from there, it kind of just seems like a matter of time until Westbrook and or Harden are now traded during this offseason, because I, for one, see no way in those two staying on the roster for the start of this upcoming season. Westbrook has said that he wants to be the man on a team, whether that be the Rockets or another team, who knows. Harden says he wants out. If I had to make my guess right now, I'd put my money on the Rockets trading James Harden to either the Sixers or Nets and potentially forming a super team there. Depending on the deal, who knows? We'll see once we get there. But I also would expect them to keep Westbrook then, and Westbrook gets to become the man in Houston and win 30 games and put up triple doubles night in and night out to his heart's desire. But again, it's so strange. The Rockets have been a mainstay at the top of the Western Conference for a while now, since acquiring James Harden, and it seems like it's been 2 nights. In 2 nights, their entire franchise has fallen to the bottom of the conference. And yeah, I'll go on record. I personally came out and said that I expected the Rockets to have a bounce back season this year, and that was, to be fair, that was before all of the bad news started breaking out. And I would like to say, if you guys allow me, I'd like to retract my statement and say that the Rockets will be hot trashed for this next season. That seems a much more appropriate based on the few moves we've seen this offseason. Anyway, let's talk about the Blazers and what they acquired in this deal. Obviously, they get Robert Covington, who's going to be such a great help to this team, as they have struggled on the defensive end for so long. And now Rocco is here to save the day. Although we should temper our expectations a little bit. Robert Covington isn't going to single-handedly turn this defense around, but I will say that having him he's just such a versatile defender. He can guard on the perimeter, he can be a rim protector, he can get in passing lanes, get steals, get deflections, all that good stuff that the nerds love to see on the defensive end. And just overall, he's going to be such a great help to Nurkic. Nurkic might actually be like somewhat rested after games now, instead of in the bubble where we saw him playing like 40 minutes a night and having to guard all 5 positions and guard the perimeter and rim protect for Dame and CJ and all that stuff. But Roko's here to help with that. Again, I don't expect them to be a top defense now because they have Robert Covington on their team, but they should be at least middle of the pack, which might be good enough depending on how much Dame and CJ can put up on the offensive end. Overall, just a very good upgrade over Trevor Ariza, who was, like I said, getting up there in age. Covington, few years younger, a lot more spry, like I said, more versatile, going to bring way more on the defensive end than Trevor Ariza could ever imagine to. And if the Blazers could just stay healthy, get healthy and stay healthy, unlike last season, I mean, a potential lineup of Dame, CJ, Rodney Hood coming back, Robert Covington playing the other wing, and then Nurkic at the center. You still have Gary Trent Jr., Zach Collins, and Anthony Simons. Potentially, maybe Melo comes back. You have all those guys off the bench. The Blazers, by making this trade, I think they're coming out and they're saying, hey, we know the West is stacked, but don't forget about us. We are still a team looking for contention and looking to make a deep run in the Western Conference. Now, will this playoff run actually happen? We're going to have to wait and find out. Obviously, injuries and other aspects of a season could change records and team progression drastically, so we'll have to wait and see. As of now, I see Portland maybe finishing in those middle seeds around like the 4 to 6 area. Maybe they're even a 7 or 8 seed. I mean, who knows? The West is just ridiculously stacked this season, so to be honest, I could see them finishing as high as like a 3 seed, and I could see them finishing out of the playoffs for all we know. So again, we'll have to wait and see, but for starters, this was a great deal for the Trailblazers to make. Very unlike Portland making a bigger deal in the off season, but it was one that was very necessary as obviously Dame and CJ, it seemed like they were not going to be able to get it done by themselves. It didn't make a whole lot of sense for them to trade away one of Dame or CJ to make a big deal to shake things up. So again, great on their part for getting an impact player like Robert Covington without having to give up any of their top players. Some people may say that they gave up a bit too much in trading for a 30-year-old Robert Covington, and while that may be true, I think this is a deal that is certainly worth making. For at least the next 2 seasons that it's going to be Dame and CJ, probably even beyond 2 seasons. It's going to be Dame, CJ, hopefully you can get Robert Covington to stay. Nurkic will probably want to stick around. You have your squad pretty much set, and you're willing to take these guys and just head forward into the future with them. With the 16th pick, trading that away, at best you're probably going to get like a shooter or some sort of specialty guy for the bench. And while that would have been a helpful addition to the team, it's not a necessary one. I think getting Covington with that pick and next year's first-round pick for them will be more beneficial if they are about this win-now culture. And overall, I'm good with this trade for both sides. Blazers, they get better, push their way towards contention just a little bit more. Rockets are fully embracing the rebuild, which we love to see that around here. Just when teams understand that they're not going to be good or be in contention, if they start trading away pieces for their future, we love to see that. It's the right move to make. Props to the Rockets and Tillman Fertitta and all the guys over there for realizing this, getting rid of Covington, and now we just have to wait and see on who will be getting dealt out of Westbrook and Harden, and we're just going to keep on enjoying this offseason as these trades come. And that will do it. As always, leave some comments down below on what you think about this trade of Covington going to the Portland Trailblazers. While you're down there, maybe hit the like button. Just think about it. And other than that, all I gotta say is thank you for watching.